Coach John here. I'm here with one of my former clients, Sheldon, who I worked with a couple of years ago. So, Sheldon, can you just tell everyone kind of what made you reach out to me? And
what made me reach out to you is over the years, obviously we knew each other from when I first met you with apprenticeship, and then there was an attraction there was just your dedication to just learning just the mechanics part, right? So that one of the things that caught my attention was just the attention to detail, just the dedication to learning and stuff like that. You knew how to be a student, right? You knew how to also pick up on mentorship. So for me, over the years, just seeing you grow with that, and then just you're one of the few people I know that walk the walk and actually talk the talk and have the credentials for it. So for me, that has a lot of value to it. And then I was struggling with just the weight and things like that over the years. So for me, the attraction was that I knew I could trust you. I knew what you did, and you proved it. So that was really what attracted me towards your, I guess, services. Because even for all the years, even my wife being in fitness, what we found a lot of times was when I go to the gyms here locally, you see a lot of people showing wrong techniques, or you show people that aren't really have the physique that you would think they should for what the industry they're in. And not to disregard their knowledge, but for me, that's a hard thing to really accept when a person's trying to teach me how to do correct, movements or whatever it is that the exercise is, but they're obese. And not to judge them, but you almost have to be, the image of the industry to some degree. So.
Okay. So after we started working together, we worked on nutrition and the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
You had some blood work done previously.
Yeah.
So what happened after? I know after several months you had another blood test done. And can you just kind of tell us roughly what your results were before and after?
So I was having pains in kind of my lower inside of my leg, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. So I got some blood work done, and the blood work came back, and my triglycerides were through the roof. And first off, I didn't really know what that was. But what shocked me was that the nurses called me and says these things like, do you feel shortness of breath? Do you feel like fatigue and chest pains? I'm like, no, I don't. But they're like, well, you're almost like on the verge of a heart attack the way your triglycerides were. And it was confusing to me why it was, because it wasn't like I was eating fast food or anything like that. So what I ended up doing was, through just doing a little bit of research, talking with yourself, and just getting back to exercises and just going through what your nutritional stuff was, found out it had to do with a certain type of food. And just by altering that food to something different, within a couple months, my triglycerides were normal and actually in good shape. And out of that, it was surprisingly the energy came back. I went back and got blood work. They were quite shocked with it. And to this day, it's still been down. So
that's pretty cool to hear that.
It was weird because the nurses were just questioning me like crazy. Like, is it this? Is it this? Do you exercise? I'm like, yeah, well, what is it? But then part of the issue I have is, say this in a nice way, no disregard to my wife, but she never grew up cooking. So for us, I didn't know how to cook correctly. Didn't know how to implement vegetables. Like for me, if I can't make a meal in 10 minutes, it's like, okay, this is like not 3 hours to make it, but with your help and just through the things I've learned through you, that helps. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Awesome. So yeah, the nutrition makes a huge difference, obviously. It's not just exercise that we do. What was so you were talking about your energy being better. How much better was it? Like, did you find you were able to just do outdoor activities easier, or like what was it you noticed?
One of the things I noticed too was I believe I have some type of arthritis, because back before I met you, my arms would fall asleep a lot if I just held a position or crossed my legs or anything along that line. Or if I was in a static position and I had to move, I felt like I was 90. I couldn't move. And if I wasn't active in certain ways, it really would affect me. So my energy was okay. Could I run a marathon? No, I couldn't. Could I do, like, go play street hockey? Yeah, I could, but I was hurting bad and I was not short of breath, but I was aching bad. So just with working with you over the last year and a half to 2 years, just going through the exercise, trying to get that strength and just doing things like that, what I found is that my recovery time is cut down really short. So you can do these things and you're not feeling sore as much anymore. You're not, so much like feeling the joint pain as much and things like that. And I've had bad injuries over the years, and just through doing the exercise, I found like I got my strength back from my shoulder even when I have a 90% ripped supraspinatus. And doctors are saying, like, unless it's fully ripped, you're living with it. And I had a hard time just lifting up a can of soup or just holding my arm up like this, but then just through the resistance training and just through that stuff, it's not back 100%, but it's back there better than I can ever imagine. And things like you're not short of breath walking upstairs, you can just do things and you're not like grasping for air and stuff like that. So
did you feel after working with me you had more confidence too, just with your, I guess you lost some weight as well?
Yeah, I lost some weight. That was good, confidence for sure, but then it was just the attention to detail of, you don't have to lift the big weights. If you do it properly and do it the right way, that 5 pounds can do just as much as a 50 pounds if you're doing it properly. And that was the big thing, honestly. And that's what I really focused on. And surprisingly with that, you work on your technique, you became stronger obviously with it, and then not prone to injury, obviously, for sure. So yeah.
Cool. So if somebody was interested in working with me and was maybe hesitating, what would you tell them?
What I would tell them is just do your research. Like, you're going to find out a lot of people what they do. What I find in my profession with instruction is that a lot of the students don't really do the research and not knowing what they want and not knowing what they're signing up for. So with you, it's very straightforward. You can see all your credentials. You can see the accomplishments you've made. You can tell through the conversations that they have with you and what you did with me that it's very obvious that the passion's there, the knowledge is there, the dedication's there, and the trust is right there. And then what I found with you is that you walk with me through the peaks and the valleys. Like even right now with the COVID, it struggles for a lot of people. And right now we're in a valley. Like I'm the type of person that like, I need to go to the gym. That's just, I have no problem doing that every day. But then at times I struggle for working out at home because you get distracted. But just through things like that, how you're able to adapt to the situation and say, okay, let's try this baby step and do this little routine. And then then go from here. So you'll walk the walk with them through the whole transition, right? And it's never been pressure. And a lot of it's mind over matter, and you support both.
And also I'm a dad, and Sheldon's a dad, so if you're a dad, I can relate to you as a dad, so yeah. That's also a good thing. Well, Sheldon, I really appreciate you chatting, and yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.